Hey guys, welcome to Wednesday, March 25th. We are going to go over this week so far. So, this is going to be the midweek review. It's kind of been a choppy up and down week after we got that big move on Monday. We have been kind of sideways. I think I've only traded once. And it was in my YOLO account. So, nothing really big for the week for me. But we do have some chances left for the rest of the week, and we'll start with that. So let me switch screens. Go switch screens over here. So clean some of this stuff up out of the way. Hope you guys are having a good week as well. Let's get this out of the way. All right. So start with the news. I'm gonna pull this over here. Start with the news. So today we didn't have any red folders at all today, but we did have a few like breaking news events that were things that to consider. Wale gave us a pretty cool site to check out. Let me see if I can remember SFMN. Um, and we had a lot of news coming in through this website. Nothing that I traded off of, but this is something I'm gonna keep in mind to kind of watch out if it's something we can use during the day. For the most part, I usually get my breaking news from our your news drops here as they come through, but and then you'll usually get a notification here. So if it's breaking news, I'm usually getting it from there, so I don't have to switch screens. But we'll go ahead and try to see if we can implement it. That's another unusual Wells I want to follow too. Um, Fed rate looking up. Let's get a refresh. Fed rate, no change, still being the dominant theme. We're sitting around 94.8%. There was some rumbling regarding the rate actually increasing, but it looks like that's not going to take place. Let's slide this over here. Looks like it's not going to take place. So that's actually giving some clarity regarding markets right now. They simply want to just keep it intact. And then going into tomorrow, we got 8:30 unemployment claims. Um, that's the only red folder that's going to be for the rest of the week. Unfortunately, I won't be able to trade tomorrow, which is a good reason. We'll be at a conference tomorrow, and I'll just have to kind of watch and look from my phone to see how this plays out tomorrow. I will be paying attention to it though. But forecast right now is going to be 211. Um, Going into the 8:30 news, we had previously 205, so there's going to be an increase in unemployment claims. Is the expectation from last week to this week, with it being another 6,000 additional new unemployment claims to add on top of that already 211. Then the only other thing we got is some yellow folders. We got natural gas. Just right now, I still keep an eye on it, even though it's a yellow folder. Um, Apparently, Trump's going to be speaking tonight, which I at 7:20. I'll have to look out for that. And then going into Friday, consumer sentiment and inflation expectations are really kind of the only thing to kind of look out for. And then we go into the month of April next week, so that'll give us our NFP week. It looks like we got NFP for that week, and we'll go over the rest of this on Sunday. But Monday, Tuesday is the last day of the month, so we'll have to kind of look at this on Sunday when we go over the weekly outlook. So, but just know. Uh, I would not really press a lot this week. If you hadn't been able to trade, I know a lot of you guys told me that there was some up and down, some choppiness, having a lot of issues with the trade markets this week, and it happened to me too. Um, so let's go ahead and get on the charts. Oh, what 1 second? Earnings. We already saw there's not a lot of earnings this week. The earnings so far, nothing that seems like it's gonna affect us. We got some familiar names, but nothing too big that's gonna probably drive the market. I think we got Beyond that are supported after hours. Nothing huge going into Thursday. Uh, Nothing huge going into Friday. We got Carnival. That's about the only familiar big name. But other than that, nothing to look out for the earnings calendar for the rest of the week. Um, we really got to pay attention to more so the breaking news, especially with the tensions with Iran. We've heard some different things come out of Washington, and we heard the opposite coming out of Iran. So there were talks about ceasefires. There were talks about making concessions in order to end the war by Iran, and Iran apparently turned all of those down. Um, so it's not clear as to how this is actually going. So it's kind of one of those things we'll just have to watch and see. Again, pay attention to any of the breaking news that comes out. Um, we'll go ahead and start with the dollar. I actually hadn't had a chance to mark up the chart, so we'll go ahead and try to do that all together on this session. So we got this swing high that is going to be a upside target, and you can pretty much see how the week is played out. Um, we're pretty much um, almost at the same price we opened up on dollar right now, even though we pushed up, pushed down. That's 350. So our projections on Sunday were that we would push up, hold, push up, push down, push up into the order block. We didn't get it. We sold off at one. Then started to make this downside move. And then we made our 0 to 1 move to the downside. Our 1 2 kind of held us up. And then we just kind of been sideways. The close was at 99,503. And we're still inside of the new week opening gap range. So chop session pretty much. Chop all day. Chop all day. So chop all week on everything pretty much. So now with that being the case, let's look at this being our upside target. This is the high of the week right now. This is the high of the week. We still are inside of this weekly opening gap, new week opening gap. So we still need to consider this the rest of the week on dollar. And we did manage to take out this low from last week. Right now, this is our weekly low. And for the most part, I think our targets are still really kind of the same on dollar because we still have managed to end up in the same range. So we can kind of use the same targets right now as for this week, really, for the rest of the week. So this is where we closed over here. Close here on as the market closed today. Then our 0 to 1, we'll get that out of the way from now. So our 0 to 1, we look like we have a little order block over here, another one here. So I think we need to deal with this before we go any lower. We could come down. You can see the 0 to 1 coming down to take this low out too. But I'd say that we get this low taken out after we do a 1 2 retracement. The 1 2 retracement could also trade as high as like the new week opening gap. And then we see the 2-3 take us below the weekly low. And then the 2-3 could go as low as the previous week and into this daily gap if we continue to go lower. Odds are right now we kind of go sideways. So, um, or we do have some upside momentum, so we could be pushing back up. So worst case, we do sell off, we get a fair value gap, we start mitigating this new week opening gap that we're also inside of from a couple weeks before, and then we use those levels to take us down lower. So that's what I would be looking for. High probability rejections are right now 1 and the 3. So that's going to be our upside move. If we do have an upside move, we sweep this low, but we can't go lower, and you start seeing price close above the low of this new week opening gap, you can start looking for the upside move to go long on that setup. Then for the buy, if we do continue to the upside, there is a fair value gap right here to the downside. I'm not going to extend this out, but just know it's there. I don't want to clutter it up too bad. We're going to have to deal with that. And then this high, these two, this high and that fair value gap. We could see the one sell off inside of here somewhere or take out the high. And if we do, this will likely get mitigated if we want to go higher. And the 2-1-2 move could hold somewhere inside of here, or you can see it tap back into the new week opening gap. And if it does and it holds, the 2-3 move takes us above this high that we just made over here and takes out, or it takes out this high, these highs, and then we trade at least into or at or around this daily order block. And we get the 2-3, the 3-4 retracement. We hold likely somewhere around inside of this gap right here, and we push up from there. The high probability rejection right now, I think, is the 1 and the 3. And if we get the 3, you can look for a move to the upside from the 3-4 move or the downside rejection from the 3 or the 4. I mean, 3-4 move or the 1-2 move. Let me drop this one. This is going to be dollar. Tracking? Any questions on that? We tracking? I guess so. Okay. Dropping.
Yeah, Draken. So sorry, I was
Yeah.
on.
Oh, no problem.
Yeah.
Let's get this. It's in the group. And then let me just pull this over here. How you guys doing today? You guys having a good week so far, whether it's trading or not? You guys having a good week?
I did today one sale.
Huh?
I did one sale today.
Oh yeah, that's right. That's right. You took that sale today. You took that sale. You did good on that too. I'm jealous. I should have sold. I should have sold. I saw it, but I was looking long
Mm-hmm.
because I was watching VIX, and then I went long instead. I should have went short, but I'm not
Actually,
mad.
I was looking for sale since morning. So I was waiting till like that was 4 hour bearish candle, right? So
Yeah,
I thought if it will go retrace till up, then I'll take sale from there. So after that, I got that SMT. Then it was sure like, okay, I can think of the sale.
yeah. That
Mm-hmm.
was a good sale.
Mm-hmm.
I was kind of 50-50, really. I saw both a sell and a buy.
Mm-hmm.
So I went with the buy, and I was up like 7 points on ES.
Mm-hmm.
I should have closed it out because I didn't like it even when I was up at 7 points. But
Mm-hmm.
you know, you
Yeah.
know,
So
I
for buy, I was looking from the. starting, but there was no setup right after when it took that means 9:30 low when it took that.
Yeah.
After that, it was not there, nothing, no setup, right? So I
Yeah.
thought not to jump. Means actually in morning I was like because of this news and everything is going whatever. So
Hmm.
I was not sure today I'll trade it or not.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. I don't blame you on that.
I thought maybe it's a better thing to avoid that, right?
Yeah.
Otherwise, when like you are making your move, you are doing everything right, and that is not going in that direction or not, you are in loss something. So like it is feeling like I don't know anything, right? What I am doing, but
Nah.
right now, like my just because of market condition, it's happening, right?
Yeah. Yeah. Nah. You market conditions haven't been great, and
Mm-hmm.
it's it was good that you realized it and you picked your one direction and stuck with it.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and it's the same thing that I did. I picked my direction, and I could have closed out that trade up, $300-400, but I didn't. I decided to let it play out completely,
Mm-hmm.
but I took it in my YOLO account, so
Okay.
it's okay.
Yeah.
It's
Yeah.
okay.
Mm-hmm.
Here we got gold. Gold, we did the downside move. We sold off. We tried to make a lower time frame 1-2 move, and we pretty much did this set up the 2-3 to the downside. And then you see we came down, we took out the one, we set the three well past below this. So and then from the three, we got the 3-4 move. And then we got an attempt to make the 4-5 move and it stalled out. So this 4-5 move never actually set up. And we just went sideways. And then we started taking this upside move from this low as we kind of thought it would do so. So this one had the right direction. You can see though, like this move happened at 2 a.m., 3 a.m. This move happened at 7. This was right around the time when they released the news um, about Trump saying that they could potentially have a pause in the war, and then immediately the market kind of shot up off this news, and we've actually just been sideways ever since then. But you can see again, most of the body is pretty much at this inside of this range over here. Once we traded above this. We came back. Most of these candles are using this yearly opening price as support. And then we traded up higher back into the new week opening gap. And that's kind of where price is right now. So what we need to do, all right, let's get this. So we're gonna mark up. This is the low of the week so far. Take that out to Friday. It's the low of the week at 348 weekly low. And then this is gonna be liquidity that got swept. So that's out of the picture. This weekly low got swept. We can still use this because it may wants to come back down into this. Same thing with the yearly opening price. It's the pretty much the first or second time we came into that. So it's a possibility we could see that being used. And then let's just check the daily real quick just to kind of get an idea. You can see like on the daily candles, we gap down, we gap to the downside, took out this low, took out that low, it took out this low, and we stopped around here. There's a fair value gap right there. And then we kind of just pushed right back above the yearly at that point. Tried to sell off again. It rejected, pushed back up, traded into the gap. And now we pretty much in the middle of the week, the middle of the weekly opening gap. So there, you'd assume that they probably want to come back into this gap that we left. I'm not gonna put it on the chart, but just know there's a gap right there. Then when we come to the 4 hour, let's look at the weekly really quick. Nothing but downside. Let's look at 4 hour. You can see an order block here. So we're probably gonna try to use this to the downside right here. You can see it on the 1 hour too. So it's about right here. There's a fair value gap. There's actually a little order block in here on the lower time frame, right at the weekly. Maybe it wanted to use that, but this is the main one I would see price coming back down to. And that's on the 4 hour and the 1 hour too. So from the downside perspective, that's where we close over here. Oops. Then this is the order block we referring to, which is lining up with this yearly opening gap. Come back into touching that. Then if we get our sell off, we happen to have it inside of this new week opening gap that we made on the opening of this week. And we sell off from there. We R2-3 takes us back down into this range. And then we get a rejection on the 3-4 move inside of this yearly opening gap and maybe even tapping back into that new week opening gap. And then that to the 3-4 takes us at or below this weekly low that we set already. Seeing us bounce again, probably at the three, probably at the three. 3-4 move where we'll see again. We try to use this one more time, or we even use this order block. I mean, fair value gap and order block right here. You can see the inverted, it got inverted right here. And then we put it in our fair value gap to the upside. So we could sweep that and come into this and bounce from there. Then once we get above this, we probably will try to use this to take us higher. And then we'll see price want to hold and take out this high and then trade back above or inside of this new week opening gap to take this high out. And then you'll try to probably see price hold inside of here. And then we take out this high above this previous day high from last week. So that's kind of where price is looking like. And you can see we pretty much have been following suit with the projections. And just a reminder, like it's not gonna be perfect. It's not gonna be perfect. What these projections are just letting you know and understand that there's something at each one of these turning points that you need to consider, right? Does it mean that it has to go to it exactly how it's drawn out? Absolutely not. That's not the intent. The intent is to just show where you could see price react from. That's the most important part about it. And then once you see price at that particular point, it's on you to determine whether or not it's going to use it, and if it does, in what direction. And once you see what direction it's going to use, you'll know, all right, cool. I can either get in a buy here because it's gonna hold here if it's selling off, or I'm gonna be able to get in a sell here because it's gonna hold here and reject. That's the logic behind all of this. Got it? Got it, got it, got it.
Yeah.
Then we got the upside targets. Upside targets are pretty much still intact, so it's not gonna be a lot of change from these. We can still look at the same levels, same process to get there as well. Where you can see again, we pretty much are right back where we opened up, where we closed on Sunday. This is where we closed at. We closed at 44.90. We're at 44.93. So can just slide him over, look at it from the same approach. If we trade above this, we take this high, likely this high. There's a fair value gap where we could see price reject from, or the one takes us into this. If we don't, we see price just take this high, trade back down. The 1-2 move takes us into the weekly fair value gap and above and we make a new high. And then we see the 2-3 take us above this high and back into this 4 hour fair value gap. And then we likely use this to take us higher on the 4-5. If we get a rejection, we either get it at the 3 or the 5, and then this area will be used to take us to the downside. And we can just basically use all of those projections from the downside as ways to take us even lower. That makes sense?
Yeah,
Anybody got any questions on that one?
I'm good.
Okay. This is gold. And let's drop it in here. Any I guess are you guys needing anything like this is off topic, right? Are you guys looking like is there anything that I can do that would make the sessions better for you guys or that you can get more value from the sessions? What do you guys think about that? You can turn your mics on, all that good stuff. Nope. Yes,
I can't answer that question yet because I haven't been on the calls and I haven't been paper trading, so I don't know what I need yet.
okay, okay.
Yeah.
What's up, cuz?
Hey,
What's going on, boss?
What's going on, cuz? What is happening? Nothing, Anna? Nothing? I'm cool. You cool?
No, I'm good.
Okay. All right. All right. Okay. So let's look at VIX. VIX, we've been sitting in we took both sides of the overall. You see, we were in like a small range from this high and this low. We took the liquidity from the upside of this and we took the liquidity from the downside. So and then we pretty much ended up right back inside of a even smaller range. So we swept, and held right back at open. So it's just been that kind of week where it's just we took liquidity out on several occasions and then we just pretty much right back where we started. Here's the high right here for the week on VIX. So this is still at use. We'll still use this. We traded into this order block. It's still available to be used. Whether we use it or not, we still got to find out. This gap from last
Order
week,
block?
what's up?
Which order block?
1 hour right here.
Okay, yeah. Yeah.
We still inside of last week's gap. So even though it's kind of been traded through, it's still being used right now. We got the daily from yesterday and the monthly opening price being used a lot right now. This is actually kind of how I set up my trade from the day. I thought we were going to sweep down into the monthly, and you can see like we did everything but touch the monthly today. Even though we gapped down, we swept it, we set lows as if we were going to actually touch down into this 24.66, and we never did, which is crazy that we didn't, but that's the reason for the trade setup that I took today. So I can go over that if you want, but let's just get our projections. So I'm just gonna set this here temporarily, but it actually still lines up. It really still lines up with what I would still project without even making any changes. But this is we had a gap from last week, from this week here, and we are tapping into this gap from already sitting like right at the low. I'm gonna extend this one out. This is the gap opening for this week, right? And you see it's got a lot of overlap. And it's kind of, I would not even really change the projections because it's still, you can see even just me dropping the projections here, it's still kind of pretty much lining up. If we take out, if we do push to the upside, the 0 to 1 takes out this high, and we likely take out this high. This is where my one would go. If we retrace on the 1 2, if we retrace on the 1 2 comes down and holds inside of this new week opening gap, which also lines up with the gap from the opening of this week as well. And then if we bounce, the 2 3 takes us um, above and into deeper territory inside of the gap, which is upper quadrant and overlap into the higher time frame one. And then if we get a retracement, we hold somewhere inside of the gap, likely the middle, and then we move higher. Trade into that order block from the 1 hour, and we likely take out the weekly high and to make a new high. And because we got so much overlap, these levels are levels you're gonna have to pay attention to at each one of these points. 29.49. That's a 29.41, 29.70, 26.78 and 28.41. So you'll have to pay attention to those when you are seeing how the trade set up. Then for the downside, same thing, man. It's kind of lining up the same as before. We do have the low of the week here that we made on Monday. We made the low of the week on Monday. And this would overall be the downside target, but whether or not we come back down here has yet to be proven. But 0 to 1, we take out these lows, and there's a low right here, but we also have monthly, right? So we could actually see this bounce at the 1 0 1 because we could be holding this monthly. Apparently, we don't want to come below the monthly yet, but if we get around that, you can see the bounce. So all this upside move could happen at the 1. If not, the 2 3 on the 1 2 retracement, we likely use this range that we had, or we use the monthly to reject from there, and then 2 3 sells off down into this gap right here. This gap, once we get down to this gap, we can see the bounce from there. And the 3 4 could take us back above the monthly and take us higher on the move back to the upside. And then we would just be holding it price near the monthly. There's probably going to be a fair value gap inside of this move on the 3 4. And then we get back inside of this new week opening gap and we see how high we want to go back up. The 4 5, if it does reject, it takes us down into these two gaps and possibly below the weekly low. So even if you don't trade, right? Even if you don't trade this week, I just want you to watch how everywhere on the charts responds to price, right? So even if you don't trade, right, and you see us selling off, watch how we react when we get to this level or this level on the monthly, or if we take out these highs and watch how we react to those, because I just want you to see how the price looks and responds to the levels, right? Because that's kind of what the goal is from you guys, right? Like it's for me to and you guys to get the response from like everywhere you can see one of the levels, there's gonna be some kind of reaction right there, right? Either it's gonna buy from there or it's gonna sell from there. And then once it gets to the level, it's just up to you to determine like what type of trade are you gonna take from there. That's all it is, you know. So what up, booze? So like at any given level, right? You could have a buy or a sell setup, right? You can have the buy if you see primarily support it holding one of these levels. Like in this case, this is the most high probability level, right? We already came here before this was a gap from the week before, right? We came down here in this gap, this from the daily, this price gap from the daily, and we pretty much held right at the middle, right? And it's just up to you to say, all right, once we get down here, I know this area is an area that can buy, right? And if it gets down there, how do I want to react when it gets to that level? You, once it gets to that level, you just waiting for the confirmations to say, all right, it's showing me that this might be used to take a buy. And since it's showing me that it's going to use the level to take a buy, that's why I'm going to take my buy from. Right? Could it do something else? It could, but you just trying to take the most high probability trade. Got it?
Yeah. Can you show me this gap on daily?
On a daily? Sure.
Yeah.
Price close here on
Mm,
Friday. Price open up here on Sunday and Monday, right here. So
okay.
this here to here.
Yeah, this is new week open. No,
Yeah.
that mm, SSL sell side one. You're considering that lower one, right?
This one,
Yeah. So this is
this
yeah.
the low of the week.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So which one is with this that to your chart next left? This one? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah. You can see it right here. And then on a daily. Oops. I don't know if you're gonna be able to make it out, but it's right here.
Yeah.
That's where it's at right there.
Mm-hmm. And you are considering that gap still, right?
Yeah,
Um,
yeah, we
but
using it. Yeah, we using it.
no, not this one. Now, upside one. This is on daily 23 April.
23 April.
That is, yeah, this yellow one coming from behind.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Still considering, right? Doesn't matter. Price moved in that and came back,
On
right?
23 April.
Yeah,
Let me see.
all the way left. Yeah,
Oh, this one.
yeah, here, here.
Um, yeah, on the higher time frame, yeah, but it is something to consider, right? We've traded through it though,
Yeah.
so we do have more current levels to use.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, if you
Now it's
don't want to
nested,
know,
right? Yeah.
yeah, I mean, we could take it off. I mean, because
Okay.
we got it's been replaced already. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Yeah, that is what means because there is so many, right? So
Yeah, we got a
the
lot of
question is,
overlap.
yeah, so which one is to consider? Obviously,
Yeah,
latest one.
yeah,
But if
yeah,
that is big new week opening gap, so means sometime it comes in the mind, I should consider that also,
yeah,
right?
yeah. You really consider the most recent area for now.
Mhm.
because
Okay.
that's from like April of last year, and we actually already used it. So
Yeah, once, yeah, you did that.
we can clean that up.
Okay.
We can clean that up. I'll put this cleaner version.
Mhm.
We'll put the cleaner version on there. All right. That's VIX. And like just to kind of talk about the trade from today, right? Um, so the trade from the day was based off of let me go pull this other screen in so that'll be easier. So this was the trade from today, right? This was 9:30 on 9:30 candle. We had a gap on VIX and we had a fair value gap on ES, which is over here. Let me get the pointer. All right, this was the fair value gap right here. Then we had the gap on the open on VIX. We pushed up on the VIX opening, and at the same time as we pushed up, we sold off on VIX, right? Once we made this low, we pushed up, right? So at the same time we made this low, we made a high, we sold off. Then once we made this low, this is kind of why I was looking for the continuation because once we made this high and we made this low, from the looks of it on the chart, right? It looked as if we were gonna hold this low, push up, and take out this high. Especially given the fact that we had already pushed up into the middle of this gap and sold off, and we were coming back into the gap around 25.42, and we rejected right here. The assumption at the time was that once we rejected at the middle of this gap right here, we would take out 24.82. We came down and reject. This is around where I entered the trade over here for the buy on ES and then went into profit at the same time. But as soon as we got to this 24.94 low, we couldn't get any lower than that. And then we like did some crazy reversal and then sold off. But so the entry was right at this, pretty much right around here at this order block right here with a 66.60 entry, 7 point stop loss at 66.53. As high as I was able to take it was 67.50. And then I really could have closed it out in profit. But that I was trying to just see how it was gonna run and when it reversed on me, but that's okay. This account is meant for me to take these kind of trades in, right? We haven't touched the PA accounts. We can go over the details on that a little later. And I'll show you that as well in a second. So that was that trade. And now we can just kind of go into Dow. Let's go to Dow. Same thing, right? So we started the week. We open up on the week. We push down, right? We we made the 0 to 1 move. We made the 1-2 move with this low to these highs right here. Then we tried to make this 2-3 move. We sold off from here. And then this one, Trump released the news about the pause in the war. And ever since that, we kind of been just sideways. We pushed up. We actually from this like this low, we took out the whole target for the buy side for the whole week. And now like you can see like we pretty much went from the 1 to the 5 already. And you can see like basically where we rejected from. And then once we rejected, we just kind of been pushing chop after that. So we took out this high. We took out this high. This range is gone. Now we came back into this old new week opening gap. We set the high here for the week. Let's extend this out. This is the high for the week now. So this look like it might, the high and the low might be intact. This is now the yearly low right here. We made a new low. And remember the last time we was on, we talked about how we were almost at 10% correction. And I think that we made the 10% correction on on NQ and on Dow. So we came up off of the 10%, but right now it's looking like they trying to set the low. Right now, like this low look like it might be kind of set for now. So we just got to kind of watch this, how they want to play this. But this gap still can be used. We had the gap from the daily over here, and then this imbalance over here still can be used. I ain't gonna pull that out all the way, which is trying to use now. Then we had this 4 hour fair value gap, right? And then this is our high for the week. All right, cool. So we kind of got our whole map. So now that we kind of see they probably want to keep this low in place, we probably won't expect for this to take out the low, right? And if we do get a bounce or a sell off, right? Let's just pull this out the way for now. If we do get a bounce or we do get a sell off, right? If we do get a bounce or a sell off. This is low. This low from yesterday. The low from yesterday, that's at risk. That's that's at risk. And then if we do take out this low, the highest probability will be on Thursday morning because that's the next red folder or sometime tomorrow because that's the next time we got economic news on the calendar, right? We got unemployment claims. So since we got unemployment claims, that'll be the next time they try to use news to drive the market in some kind of direction, right? And if we miss on the unemployment claims, that's gonna be the catalyst for us to probably drop lower or make any kind of big move at all, right? So that's what I want y'all to look. That's why I want y'all to watch on tomorrow that 8:30 unemployment news, right? So you see we got this fair value gap right here, this engulfing candle right here. I'm not gonna draw it because we got enough inside of this to where we don't have to really consider it. But our first stop, if we make this 0 to 1 move, we take out this low and this low. There's an order block right here. We hold right there. Then if we do take that out, the 0 to 1 move, it's probably gonna use this range right here and maybe even a daily. So you can see this retrace probably somewhere inside of here. Then, if we do not hold right here, which we could hold at the 1, this 2-3 takes out the low we made here, and we take out this low, and we come back into the weekly opening gap from this week. That's where I'm thinking we could get a bounce from. I don't want to clutter this all up, so we just gonna use the arrow. That's where we could get the bounce from. And if we get the bounce, just know that we can use these same levels to take us back to the upside from here. And then you will just be looking at price holding at or above this 46.12 area. And then once we get above that 46.12 area, you'll be looking at price to see if it'll hold at or above this 44 460 area and then pushing up from there. But if we can't, let's get this over here. If we can't do that, we sell off from the four. The four comes back to take out the three, and we go deeper into this gap from this week opening. And then we likely come down into the gap, but I don't know. I think this low for the year might be set for now. And maybe we get this low taken out in April when we open up for the rest of the open up the new month. Because if things go as projected, we've been missing on NFP anyway. So if we missing on NFP, the job numbers coming in bad, we'll know that it's likely gonna send the market lower, right? So if we push to the upside, right, this high at risk and this high at risk, and you see where we come into this 4 hour gap, the 4 hour gap that we come into, we probably push up to the midpoint of it right here at 47 for 265. Then we likely get a rejection around the midpoint. We'll want to look and see if price want to hold around the low at 46 965. If it does hold it around the low, we can see the 1 2 hold around the low, and then the 2 3 take out this high. We should get an order block right around there, and then we'll see the three trade up to at try to take out this high, or we reject at the high at this level. And if we don't get the rejection here at the low, we make it on the 3 4, and we kind of like hold at or around this level at 47 115. And if we can hold, we could see price sell off at the three or the one. I like the three in this case. It's the highest probability right now. Really? Yeah, three is the highest probability right now. Three is highest probability. But it could happen at the it really could happen at the one. A higher probability is the one or the three right now, especially with us making this big move already. We might not have a bigger move or a big move for the rest of the week. So this will the one or the three is the highest probability. If we don't get to sell off at 3 4, we hold at the four and we go ahead and take out the high we made at three and this high over here, which is let me add that. And then the next high is that previous week high that we got near the five. Just the previous day high. That makes sense?
Yep.
Got it?
Yeah.
Cool. Cool, cool. Let me drop this. This is Dow. This is Dow. And we can go to NASDAQ. And we go here. I got a couple of things. I'm gonna open up the last half of the session for like Q&A. And then I got one thing I want to show you guys. We'll start doing this sometime later. But again, right? Same way as before, right? We traded into this weekly order block, right? We had the high, the middle, and the low. We open up right at the middle. We gap down on this was Friday close right here. We gap to the downside. We open up here, and the weekly opening price was 23,914, right? We set the low right around that same price, and we took it out when we made that move on Monday night, overnight. At the same time we made this low, 7 a.m., that's when Trump released the news. I call BS on it because without my emotions involved, Iran has said that they are not willing to do ceasefire or do any pause because the negotiations and the terms of their negotiation haven't been met. So, for this to jump up like that on news that we would get a ceasefire and then there not be a ceasefire kind of show you the manipulation that's going on right now. Um, I know I sent the message in the group and in the chat that I got where they saw that there were moves put in 5 minutes and 15 minutes before this candle. Before he made the announcement, there were I think it was a $1.5 billion trade that was entered in before the move, before this even happened. So that kind of lets you know what's kind of going on. But, you know, it's not my opinion or my feelings. It's just they playing with us right now.
Yeah,
They
I saw that news also. Like
Yeah,
after
they playing
Fed
with us
was,
right now.
yeah. So means how can it be happen, right?
Yeah. You can't make that large of a trade without
Yeah,
having insider information.
right, right.
It is no way possible that trade is made without insider information. So,
Mm-hmm.
you know,
Yeah,
it is what it is. It's not for us
yeah.
to make no decisions on because we can feel however we want to feel about it. And they don't give us the rights to actually make changes to do anything about it. So
Mhm.
we just got to do what we can do.
Yeah.
So right now, I would say we pretty much used up this area right here. So we can get this off the chart. Same thing over here. Like we've kind of traded through this way too many times to kind of still be using it. I will keep this in balance on here. Um, we can still keep him on, even though we have used it quite a few times. But we got the highs that we made from Tuesday over here, which is kind of where we've been in for most of the week after we made this big run up. This was Tuesday's high. And then this was Tuesday's low. And this is kind of basically where we've been ever since that move we made on Monday. Um, so that's kind of our immediate internal range that we dealing with right now. We had this low right here from yesterday or today. We kind of taking it out already. So let's just keep this here. We'll definitely probably take this low out if we if we sell off, we'll probably take that low out. So that's gonna be a target right there. And then the high we made from yesterday is pretty much equal with Tuesday. You pretty much say we got three equal highs pretty much from this high, and these highs over here. So if we sell off, let's start there, right? This was the close on today, right here. If we sell off 0-1, that's our first move to the downside, right? The first thing you see, we take out this low, and then this low would be next, probably. So our first thing is that 0-1 could take us to the downside from here to here, and we trade back into the new week opening gap. Once we take out this low, this 1-2 move is gonna try to bounce from here. This is going to be the highest probability right here, right? And our 1-2 move could take us to the upside from there once we take out this low. And this one could go probably as low as this midpoint, right? If we get the bounce from here, right, it's gonna take us back at or above these highs. And then there are a couple things you want to look for price to trade back at or above 24 225 area if we do start trading up. That's going to be the main area. If we do get a clean bounce from here, this 24 225 level is going to be the main area you should see buying from because it's the high of this order block right here. So that's going to be the main thing you look for. If we sell off, if we get this 1-2 and it sell off, there's an order block and a little gap right here that we might be using to go down. And there might be a gap in between here. But then you want to look for a price to reject to sell off to take out this low and go deeper into this gap. And then you're likely seeing the 3 at or around bounce at or around the opening price, which is also the middle of the weekly fair value gap. It's kind of overlapping, but I think that's 23. Let me move this out. 23,914 to 23,905. You seeing price push down to there. You could also see the bounce from there. Then if we get down there and we bounce off the weekly opening, you'll want to see if the 3-4 holds inside of here to try to go higher. So you could get this bounce at the 1 to reverse or the 3. And then if we cannot get higher, the 4-5 move takes us to take out this low. And then we trade to the bottom of this order block, which is 23,585, right? That's the downside. I think the highest probability is the 1 and then the 3. I think those would be the ones that we need to really look out for. Then, oops. Then you got the upside move. The upside move, we close again, we close here. You can already see we got these highs right here, this high right here, and we responding to this imbalance right here. So this probably where we get our first stop somewhere in here. 0, 1 takes out these highs that are right around this level. Then the 1-2 retraces in or at around this level, and we try to hold in here somewhere for the 1-2 retracement. If we get in here and we hold, the 2-3 takes out the 1, and then this high will be the next target. And we either take out that high and immediately reject, or we trade up to the monthly opening price. And there's an order block. And the monthly opening price is 24.9 or 903, right? Then if we get up here and we hold and if we get up here and we reject, likely around the monthly, we get the 3-4 move. The 3-4 move is gonna try to hold at um probably at around this level, and worst case scenario back down to this level. But let's just say here for now. Um, and then if we don't get the sell off, if we get the sell off, I think it happens at the 3. The 3 is the highest probability because at that point we turn in bullish or bearish for the month. So 3 is our highest probability if we want to get a sell off. But if we sell off and we can't just keep going, we get a bounce at the 4. The 4-5 move trades at or above the monthly, and then we try to get inside of this gap right here. And let's just say Let's just double check. Yeah, this gap, that's good enough target. And we at least come to the midpoint. I have no bias on this week, the rest of the week. I could see us doing, I could see us taking out this low or this high, and there's a justification for both sides. So I don't have an opinion on the price action. I think that once we get some decent news, we'll kind of have to play it by ear from there. And that's kind of how the price action been moving this whole week. So um that's really the approach. And like I told y'all this morning, do whatever VIX tell you to do at the time. Don't look for any like big trending trades. Don't go heavy right now. You know, if you take a trade, take your money. And like today proved today, I was up like $300-400. I could have taken that and walked away, and that would have been a decent day for me. And you know, I didn't, and that's okay, because again, I didn't take it in my main accounts. For me, I'm not touching this in my main account. Like I'm not touching this. That's definitely not happening right now. Like that's too valuable right now. So I'm not gonna waste waste money in my own account to put it in market like this, and it's moving the way that it is right now. So that's the logic behind not really getting into too much this week. It just hasn't been moving the way I want it to, and I haven't seen what I kind of want to see in order to get put some real size on anything. So, okay, so again on ES, same thing. We inside of this order block from the weekly. We made the low around the middle. You can see the middle of it right here at 6509.75. The low is just below that. We set the low price at we set the low at 6482.75, right? This is the gap that we made on the open. And it's pretty much kind of what we saw in NQ, right? We don't really have to really change a lot on the concepts about how the market should look on ES because it's kind of almost the same. You can see we same low, we gapped down, took out the low, we pushed up at that 7 o'clock candle once the news was released by Trump. Then we moved all the way up to the whole projection for the 5. This was supposed to be at least what we got for the up until today. We did all that at 7 a.m. on Monday. So this whole outlook was done for at 7 a.m. on Monday, right? Then we set our high of the week right here. Same day we set it on Monday, and we set the low. We set a low on previous day low on Tuesday right here. Set the previous day low on Tuesday right here, and then we set some equal highs, bro, kind of like some little equal highs right here, all inside of this gap from a couple weeks ago. Let's get him on the chart at 348. This gap in the blue is from the daily, it's overlapping. So it's kind of still being used too. All of this is still being used right now. But primarily we could focus on this weekly opening gap because that one's the fresher one, right? And then this the low we had from today. So we still inside of this little small range where this will be the low. just like we had on NQ. This is our short-term high right here. That's the high from yesterday or today. So we kind of got to operate within this little range for now. See how we want to play, and we can just trade in and through this range that we in from this low to this high. There's a small swing right here from 11 a.m. on Monday. Then we got this order block right here. And then this is the weekly high right here. You just gotta annotate that. The weekly high so far for the week, right? And that's kind of where we looking at. So, and then we know everything going on, right? Let's put this over here. Oops. 348. Got it. This from the daily, right? Let's take a look at the daily one more time. Just want to check some. That's that imbalance right here. Okay. And yeah, we just kind of sideways on the day. All right, cool. That's what I thought. Now, what are we looking like for the buy? We closed here on yesterday, right? If we push up on the 0 to 1, we take out this high, we take out this high, and then this either takes us at or above just this high, and we continue to go higher into this, or we reject somewhere in between this weekly high right here and this high we made here. We get a retracement. We come back down at or above inside of this gap. If we don't hold, we get a sell off from the 1-2 move. That's higher probability right now because then we just go back in the range. If we hold this, the 2-3 takes us above the high we made here and this high if we haven't done so already. Pulls us inside of this range of this imbalance, and then we get the 3 to stall inside of the range, and we this is the other area we could sell off from, the 3-4. So the 3-4 and the 1-2 are the most probable areas we get a sell off from. The 4, again, because we've been wicking like we have, the 3-4 could come back down into this old gap as well. Or we can hold inside of this range above short and then this order block right here. And then we push to the upside to take out to set up the 5 move. And we just take out this high that we make. And then there's a previous week high right up here. That's the upside. Downside right now is similar to NQ to NAS, right? We close here. Our 0 to 1 takes us below this low and maybe this low. And then if we do get that, we trade into the weekly opening gap where 65.59 is the high. And that's where you can see your first bounce. You could also see a bounce up here at 6,600.5 because we got the order block, right? But if we get to the one again, the one is likely highest probability, the one or the three. I'm gonna say three on this is where we on this particular case, because if we get the two three, this is rejecting at the high of this order block, and we coming back down to the opening gap to the weekly opening price. Which after all this, if we get a bad number on the unemployment claims, I could see us coming down here to the touch the weekly. But is it gonna hold? I think some dip buying is starting to play in because of this right here. A lot of dip buying coming in right now. So this is the higher probability of where we get a bounce from. Either the one or the three. I want to say three if we get a deep retracement, but I wouldn't be surprised at a one as well. And then if we get the bounce, we'll use this range between 69, 65.59 and 65.20 to try to push up to go in reverse from. The 4-5 is the area right around the high of this. We could get a sell off from there. And then the sell off takes us below the three, and then we make a new yearly low on this. And worst case scenario, if we make the yearly low, we actually trade to the low of the order block at 64.19, which that's another thing too. When we looked at it last week, we had Goldman Sachs, we had Bank of America, we had Berkshire Hathaway, all giving out different um, guidance for the year. One said that we could just be neutral. The other one said we could be bullish. The other one said we were going to be bearish. So for them to be coming out with such different insight and guidance on the rest of the year, that lets you know. And this was before we went to war with Iran. So this is before that, and they had negative guidance or indifference in their guidance. So they let you know, like, this ain't a normal year right now. So, and that's kind of why you haven't seen me call a lot of option plays, is because a lot of people rotating out of stocks right now. And unless you just trade one particular option, like a lot of people that they just trade the way we trade S&P and NAS and stuff like that, they will trade Tesla or they will trade Nvidia the same way, right? But unless you just got your one stock that you always trading your option plays on, you probably not really messing around with a lot of different setups, a lot of different tickers, right? And there's nothing wrong with that, man. If that's what you look for, then that's what you look for, right? You know. But right now, I think and that's just my personal opinion. I think S&P Nasdaq, I think they own it right now. I think they own in the movement of the market, and S&P and really Nasdaq in particular, because that's got all the tech stocks in it. So right now, that's how I'm seeing it. But this is my just personal thoughts on it, right? So I just dropped ES, and now I'm gonna open it up for Q&A. Let me open up a different chart. I want to show you guys this. Um, this came from my bro, um, Ocean, and the chart I want to use. Let's go. Let's go. Homework. Um. Okay. Yeah. This good. No. 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 Hold on. Let's go back. Current contract. Okay. So one of the things that I didn't realize that you could do this, right? And one thing I found out after talking to Ocean, and shout out to Ocean, when you get the contract rollovers, that data that we were missing, it's kind of hard to kind of set up your charts at times because like if you go to the daily chart, when you roll over into the new contract, right? Um, let's see. When you roll over into the new contract, you missing some of the data, right? And you can see the difference, right? This is the continuous contract, right? You're missing the data, right? So you won't know, like, all right, what's actually here? You only getting the closeout dates, right? So like going forward, when we mark up our charts on you mark it up on the current contract, but I want you to keep another copy of the markups, right? On the continuous contract. And I'm gonna show you why. The continuous contract, like the current contract we in MES M2 2026, right? That's the current contract. But I want you to keep the continuous contract, which is MES 1 dash MES 1 exclamation. That's the continuous contract. That show you all the data, right? And what usually ends up happening is the reason why historically we haven't used it is that the active price is off from the current contract, right? The current contract you see is 6653.5. That's the current price on the current contract. When you look at the continuous contract price is usually off from the current contract price. And you can see it right now it's 66.35. So that's a 20-point difference, right? When you open up the um, current contract, you can do this on your phone or you can do this from your let me show you from there. You can do this from your phone and I'm gonna show you both ways, right? Um, you can do this from your phone or you can do this from the charts. So you're gonna go down to the corner. You're gonna open up the MES one exclamation, right? That's the continuous contract. Then you're gonna look for this icon right here by the time, and you're gonna look for adjust for current contract changes. And you'll see this icon B dash ADJ. When you click on this adjusts the current contract price so that it is going to it's not doing it. Hold on. Let me see if I gotta refresh it. I did all that talking and it ain't work the right way. Let me go. I just did it too. Let me see. Oh dang, I look crazy for saying all this because it ain't working right now. Let me go to the 1 hour, see if that make a difference. I just did this too. It be like that every time you try to show somebody something. It ain't working the right way. Yeah, it's not doing it. Or let me just take a look. Symbol, just current contract. But it worked here. Nope. Oh, hang on. Yes. Current price should be the same. It's 53. Oh, that's my fault. I'm looking at the wrong thing. Okay. So it did work. So current price is 31. Where did I get that 53? My bad. Yeah, I think I was looking at, let me get this off of here. It did work. I just had this price projection on there, right? So again, let me repeat this, right? The current contract price, 66.3250, right? The continuous contract is MES-1. When you come to this, you will make sure that you got the B dash ADJ selected to make sure you got the exact price from the current contract. And just the way this works is what it does it makes sure that it removes the gaps that occur during the contract rollover. So like all of that data that you would be missing from the charts, like here, you see this is the weekly, this is the daily, right? So if we look at the daily chart on the current contract, this is the actual contract we need to be trading, right? But you don't know what all of this is over here because it's missing. So if we start to use the continuous contract, we can get that data once we add that BADJ on there, the back adjacent on the back adjacent, which that'll add in all of this data on there. So now instead of marking up the current contract every time, you just mark up the continuous contract. Still use that data if you need to, add in some levels on the current contract that you trade off of, because you're gonna have to trade off of the current contract, even though you are marking everything up on the continuous contract. So just like we just saw, that was the daily, right? And this continuous contract, you can still see all of the actual candlesticks the way you're supposed to see them on here. And then you can put in all your levels, all of that stuff, see all the targets and all that stuff on here, and it matches up with the same price on the contract. Because you'll see that there's a difference between the continuous contract price and the current contract price. But now this account for it and gives you the same price. So that was the like little tip I wanted to give y'all today. Um, and y'all can use it how you feel. But I will be using this moving forward. Cool.
Yeah, good. I think you know this, means we used to do that, right?
I guess I forgot. I
Yeah,
guess I
means
forgot.
because I was using that when means I was moving from New
Yeah,
Jersey to here. So that time I used to do that. But that time, like you did in same chart, right? So I
yeah,
was doing different two different charts, and I was doing that and continuously watching both. So
yeah,
you told me to do that, and I saw
yeah,
that in SMB one SMB capital video also. So
yeah.
means I think you used to do that also, but you forgot that.
I probably did. Ain't no
Yeah.
telling.
Mhm.
I've been forgetting some stuff sometimes and just need a reminder. And I
Uh-huh.
think I just needed that reminder. So
Yeah, yeah.
yeah, so that's the tip for today. And then now it's open for questions. Any questions, brand new, old school. Shout out to my boy Booze for jumping on. Um, I know everything might sound crazy right now, but I
Hey,
got
cool.
videos for days. What's up, cuz?
What's going on, man?
What up, man?
I got something I want to look at right quick, just
Okay.
to just see if I'm marking my charts all right.
Yep.
So go back to ES1 um trading right quick. Look, make sure I'm looking at the right one. So there's this book that I've been reading, the E-mini futures.
What's the book?
It's called Technical Analysis. I got it's in my book bag. I go get it in a
Okay.
second.
Okay.
So go back.
I was trying to see if I got it.
Oh, hold up. You know what?
No, no, no. Go ahead with the question. Go ahead with the question.
Okay. Go to the mini futures, ES1.
I'm here. MES
Go to the
one.
daily chart.
Are you talking about the continuous or the current contract?
Let me look at the symbol.
But either way, this the daily. This the daily.
Yeah,
What we
ES1 exclamation mark. CME mini.
okay.
Okay. So one of the patterns that I was looking at was that I was reading is go to the top of the page right there where the head and shoulders pattern was forming. So you see that go right there. Yep. Right there. Yep. And right there. Yep.
Yep.
Perfect. Yep. So I'll zoom out. Okay. Right there. You see where so I had my chart marked though. You see that long wick at right there. Boom. And then take the go to the left side. Oh, that's the liquidity rate right there.
Yeah.
Okay, so it took out not just that, but go down to the next one on the left hand side right there. That's where I
Yep.
had my chart. I had the mark from there all the way over to the one that got taken out within this
Mm-hmm.
week.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
So is it could you make a prediction that we might be looking at a continuation to the downside, maybe taking out some more lower lows?
Yeah, I mean that's kind of basically what we were saying on when we were marking it up. That's kind of basically what we were saying, but we can't right now. We Here's the other thing, right? From this high, we already put in an 8% drop, almost 8.5% drop, right? Everything we all the news right now is saying that it's bearish, 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 right? We got war, we got inflation, we got we have a partial government shutdown. Like everything right now is saying to the downside. But what a lot of times what end up happening is they will swing that in the opposite direction. They would take those opportunities to use them to try to dip by. And when that's why you seeing this big candle, this is a daily candle right here.
Mhm.
We took out, we sold off, but then after that, we took out this high from a day, we took out this day, and then when we traded up into this body right here of this candle. So after we did that, we haven't taken out another low, right? This
That's
is
right.
the last low. So when you
Mhm.
in a situation where we've taken out highs, we've taken out lows, and now we just sitting in the middle of the range of this candle. You
That's right.
sitting, you sitting in between this high, you sitting in between this low, but price mainly settling right around here.
Yeah. So when I
You
was doing my
50-50 at this point.
trade, right? So go down to the hourly.
Yep.
Let me see if it was there. Okay. Oh yeah, that was perfect. Now you see that doji candle right before the impulse move right there.
This
Yeah. So what day was that? That was Monday, right?
Monday at 6 a.m.
Monday at 6 a.m. I took that trade for. Hold on, let me make sure I'm looking at the right one. Yeah, that's it. I took that trade for a long, go for a long position,
Uh-huh.
and I don't know. I guess I guess it got cold feet because it looked like it was going in the wrong direction. Had I stayed in it, I would have stayed in this trade and I would have took that. I would have rolled it all the way up to form that fair value gap. But I got cold feet and jumped out of the trade, and you know that's just how it go.
I'm gonna be honest, man. Like I don't think you did nothing wrong because this move happened at 6 a.m. in the morning. How many we can go look back at every 6 a.m. candle and you can see every 7 a.m. candle, you're not gonna see no move like this. This
Right.
is
Right.
this is that day, right? That's the 7 a.m. candle right here. This the 7 a.m. candle the next day. This little candle right here.
Wow.
This is the 7 a.m. candle the next day. This is the 7 a.m. candle on last week right here. This little candle. This is the 7 a.m. candle right here. So it's often you're not gonna see pre-market moves like this unless it's something breaking news. So it's got to be some breaking news to make something like that happen in pre-market. You know, it's got to be some kind of news release that's not on the calendar like that was like this candle right here was this candle literally was Trump saying, "Hey, we are going to be pausing the war with Iran." Soon as they sent that out on True Social,
Mark,
they were,
shut up.
the market just shot up, right? You ain't gonna find too many candles like that at 7 a.m. I think we can take you back for this whole year, and I don't think you're gonna find one candle other than that move like that at 7 a.m. I can I think we could go back 20 some days and never find a candle like that. At least 30 days. At least you know, 60 days. And I don't think we're gonna find a 7 a.m. candle that move like that. So even the fact that you were in that trade at 6 a.m. or 7 a.m., like you wouldn't have projected that it would have went that far. No way.
No,
No way you would have projected that.
the only reason
Nobody
why I got
did.
in that trade because while I was reading that book, I would recognize several patterns that he was saying to look for, like that blow your screen up, zoom in right quick, zoom in on that, yeah, down on that. I guess you could call it a order block. Yeah, right there. So
It's
that
Vector.
spinning top candle,
Yep.
yep, and that doji, and then you
Mhm.
got that the other spinning top at the top of that little mini fat value got right there to the left of it before it made the impulse move to the upside.
Mhm.
So I was reading, I looked at those patterns. I was like, okay, cool. So I see the pattern now. I might need to go ahead and just jump in it. But like you said, you ain't gonna never see that.
You
Gonna
the
never see
only
that.
person who knew that move was gonna happen was the dude that put the 1.5 million or billion, whatever they put in.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
the
You
only
should have
person that
tell
knew.
us also.
Yeah, that's the only person who knew. And I don't think, I mean, Anna didn't tell me. Anna, she might have known. Raji might have known. I ain't know. And I've been trading for years and I ain't know that was about to happen. So, I mean, if Anna holding out, like, I need you to quit playing, man.
This is crazy, man.
One of y'all need to quit holding out because I know, like, you the closest one who knew. I don't know how you knew to be trading at 6 o'clock in the morning that day.
That
Like,
was
I
the
need
only
to
time
know.
I had to trade. I saw the pattern form and I just
I
jumped right
need
on
to
it.
know who you was talking to, bro. Like you was up at it. Like that's odd. I ain't never heard you say you was trading at 6 o'clock in the morning. Like I
And
need to
man,
know
that
who
what
you
time I
was
get
talking
home,
to.
man, from
One of them
overnight.
nice,
Man. I'm
one of
so
them
sick of
nice
what's
dudes.
going on. I'm like, me and Raji talked about this because I be tired, man. I be tired when
Yeah,
I get to work, and I be sleep when the moves happen. So I
yeah,
was like, you know what? I need to, because I was looking at my EOD account and I was like, I need to go ahead and I was looking at which account I need to get. EOD probably gonna be the one that fit me the best. I need to go ahead and set up my trades for the move for the day. So as soon as I got home, before I knew I was finna fall out and pass out, I saw that little pattern. Jumped in it. When I woke up, I didn't like the way, it was making its waves, its impulse waves and stuff like that. But I just didn't feel comfortable with the move and jumped out of it. That's all.
yeah, yeah,
But then when I
yeah,
looked, that was
yeah,
it. Wow, I missed
yeah.
out on it.
That's nothing you. Hey, a lot of and that's. I mean, all you could do is, hey, once you in profit, I'm gonna put my stop loss in profit and see how far I want to go. That's kind of what you're gonna do. If it hit a target, I'm gonna take some off here. We hit a target. This probably would have been this or this probably would have been the target, or even this little high right here. maybe. And then if you got around here, you done something at this point because that's like 500 points.
Oh yeah, yeah.
This right here, that's just getting to here is 111 points. That's a 1.7% move from that low. You not typically doing this at 7 o'clock in the morning. And this isn't even, it went total 241 and a half points. In that one candle, this went 3.7%. You ain't getting this under normal circumstance. This is not normal.
Mhm. Yeah, I mean, and that's just a 1 day candle, right?
That ain't even a day. That was a 1 hour candle that it moved this far. Even the retracement on that, even the retracement was it rejected like even this at six at even this 100 points at 109 points. That's just the wick. That still was too much to be doing under normal circumstances. Just this part.
Mm.
You won't even find a I doubt if you will find a 7 a.m. candle that's even 100 points, let alone something that went 200 and some points. You won't find it. And I give you that as homework. Find a candle that went more than this at 6 or 7 o'clock in the morning. If you can do that, I send you the money to get your account. If you can do that, I will send you the money to get your Apex account. And it's got to be within the last 6 months. I'll even give you the last 12 months. I bet you won't find one that went even that and let even went 100 points. I bet you won't find one at 7 or 6 a.m.
You know I'm gonna be looking too.
I hope so. I hope you
You
do.
better believe I'm gonna be looking.
I hope you do. I want you. I want to see it because I don't think it happened. I don't think it happened, bro.
That's crazy, man.
I know it didn't happen, so I'll leave you at it. Anybody else got anything? Anybody else got anything?
I'm gone.
Okay, okay. If so, man, if so, I'll get this up on YouTube and I'll drop the link in the group. Hit me up if y'all got anything. Like I said, tomorrow I probably won't be trading. But Friday I'll try to see if I can get anything. I'm actually gonna be at a conference and I'm gonna see that the guy that wrote the book 12-week year, and I'll send y'all any nuggets that I get from that. That's I can't wait to see this dude. Um, so yeah, I'll holler at y'all. Good night.
Good night. Thank you.
All right, good night, everybody.
Peace out.
All right, cuz
Later.
later.